Hello and welcome to What He Carried. This is another visual novel for the Novembear little jam that they did, and I think that they're still doing some of them. Just obviously it's not November, but yeah, still it counts. I don't really know what this one is about. But most of the stories of the Novembear center around a bear, and I'm assuming that's the big guy that's towering over the fox. And I think you play the role of the fox. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, let us begin this story. And of course, this should be a short visual novel. It's not like a series or anything like that. Oh fuck, I'm late. I can't help but feel like this was my fault again. It didn't matter that I was told about the vacancy a week ago, or that I had to fight with my boss to get off. I should have planned better. I should have known better. Damn it, I wanted to go to the shore too. I just knew that the bus was due to arrive any moment now, and I still had blocks to go. If only I had left earlier. If only I had listened to my friends. If only... If only I didn't crash into this hulking beast of a man. I wasn't looking where I was going. I never am. So my friends say, and fuck, I don't know how I even knocked him over. He's so big and I'm just me. You alright there? I clasped his outstretched hand for a man of a size, and he's surprisingly nimble, and he rocked me back to my feet. His grip was strong, although I couldn't help but flinch when he reached out. There was something about him, like he could eat me up or stomp me flat. I'm so sorry. I'm such an idiot. I wasn't looking where I was going. I've got to catch this bus, and if I don't, then I'll be late and they won't let me into the beach house because it'll be too dark. And they'll think that I might be some sort of weirdo trying to break in and that have been drinking and... Whoa, slow down. I'm sorry. I didn't catch any of that. His eyes widened as he saw what littered the street. Shit, my stuff. I followed his gaze, cursing under my breath at the result of my handiwork. Of course his bag's contents had spilled all out onto the ground. Of course it was my fault. The gang always tells me that I fuck things up, and this was no exception. My hand fumbled for my phone, quickly checking the time. 5:45. The bus was already late, but I couldn't be an asshole. I couldn't let him clean up his things alone, not when I caused this fuck up. I dropped back to my knees. The name's Toby, and I can't just let you clean up yourself. It's my fault that you're in this mess. Are you sure? I know it wasn't intentional. That panic look in your eyes said otherwise. No, I have to. It wouldn't be right to leave it like that. Alright, Toby, if you insist. Thanks, I appreciate it. There's not too much to put away, if we get down to it. We can both be on our way. You get one thing, I'll get the other. But what should I start with? Is that a grappling thing? Glasses? I reached out for the glasses case and his body shook with anticipation. Be careful with those. Why wouldn't I be? I know, but they're expensive. I need them to see. I stole a quick glance at him, and nope, there was still no glasses on his face. Are you sure about that? Unless you're wearing contacts. Are you? I'm not skilled enough to be able to recognize contacts on sight. I'm farsighted, okay? I need those to see the fine details of up-close things. I wonder if he bore some responsibility for the crash given his lack of glasses, but that would have taken away too much of my responsibility for my actions. He wasn't to blame for my carelessness. It's always me. It's always been me. Look, I don't love how I look in my glasses. I took a moment to envision him wearing a pair, the frame neatly nestled against his face. But you'd be cute sporting a pair. I can't believe that I said that, and per the expression on his face, neither can he. His profuse blush couldn't deter him from continuing. Be that as it may, I just throw them on when I'm in the restaurant or something where I actually need to see everything. Otherwise, this might just be my vanity. But it feels embarrassing. When I first got my glasses, I was a wee cub. Somehow it took me a bit of time to realize that the worksheets weren't naturally supposed to be more illegible the older that you got, as some sort of test to confirm that you studied the material. Only a child could think that magic was being used not for cool things like wizard battles or post-apocalyptic societies, but instead in schools to confirm if one studied. In my head, I was the one not trying hard enough and therefore was ineligible to learn more. Only took one strange question in school after a bad test to get me to the eye doctor's office, and from there, I was all set. My sister, though, she never let me hear the end of it, let alone the teasing from when I got the glasses. That was her right. A sister's entitled to tease. Right, just like a friend group when my friends tell me my taste in music is shitty and won't let me have the aux. He blinked rapidly at my words. Toby, I don't think that's conventionally acceptable teasing if they don't let you have a turn. Nah, it's fine. We all bully one another, no one's feelings get hurt. The bear took a moment to recover before soldiering on. Be that as it may, her teasing led me to breaking my first pair. I was just so upset. It wasn't enough to be bullied at school, but to be mocked relentlessly at home too? It was too much, man. Too much. But you know what was even worse? The look of disappointment in my dad's eyes as he told me that I had broken something that wasn't cheap to get. He equated it to the hours that he spent at the faculty, and while I don't remember the exact number of time he spent, I do remember that sinking feeling in my stomach. I think that I avoided him for the rest of that week. It was too embarrassing to see him and be reminded that I was the one that created my own problems. Even if the glasses didn't cost that much, and if we had insurance, a cursed industry that is, that wouldn't have negated my mistake. Following that, and my sister's continued teasing, let's just say that I take extra care with my glasses, even when I'm not wearing them. I could see his body shaking with anticipation, ready to shove the case back into his bag. Alright, take it. I get it. He sighed and grabbed it, pushing it into its depths. When I checked back to the street, the hair gel was already gone. That bear was unbelievably fast. What is that thing over here? I reached for the pocket watch and he flinched. I'm sorry. Did you want to grab it? No. It's quite fine if you do. My bag won't get repacked any faster if I try to stop you from packing my possessions. It's silly, really. That watch has been broken for years, and yet I panicked as though you could break it further. I bite my tongue lest I noted that the bus could run over the watch and smash it to smithereens. I would never do anything like that. Intentionally. I was already too late to stop from crashing into this bear. The funniest thing is that I got broken the day that I got it. I know that sounds silly, holding onto a broken pocket watch and never getting it fixed, but that would have ruined it. If it had never gotten fixed, I would have used it for months top before shoving it into a drawer. Then it would have gotten lost, maybe thrown away or donated when moving between houses. But with it still broken, how could I forget what happened that day? It's emblazoned into the back of my mind. I can see it like it was yesterday. That was a strange year for me. Fresh out of college, newly employed, newly fired, a relationship started and ended, and then finally, my birthday. I didn't expect much, not to say that my family didn't love me, that they very much do, and did. But we weren't the biggest party people. Usually it was a cake at most, and honestly, who doesn't love cake? I love cake. Me too. That would have been enough. But supposedly, my sister were busy, and that's fine. We were all some measure of working adults, the others working more than I was at that point. It wasn't as though we did anything extra while I was in college. It's kind of wistful to expect such a thing, to be treated with the same reverence that a child gets for their birthday. Oh yeah, for my friend's birthday, they all asked everyone to chip in to eat out, and then we get drinks after. But not for mine. I'm too close to the holidays, not enough time. And when were you born? December 7th. Oh. He looked me over before looking back to the pocket watch. Yeah, time is hard to find. That's what makes it all the more special when the people in one's life make an effort. It was a long day of job hunting at the library. It was too depressing filling applications out at home. I would have been spending all that day there if I didn't get out. I needed something to break it up. I was just gonna snack on the cake that I got earlier from the supermarket. Man needs a treat when times are tough. But when I expected an empty home, the door opened to a bright light. Unfortunately for my sister, what she didn't know is that I'd be accustomed to being in prank wars with my friends. It all started our freshman year, when we lived next door to each other in the dorm. One night, they shoved an empty pizza box through the connecting ceiling. The dorm had those tiles that gave way to empty crawl spaces, and it landed on my desk. I wasn't having it. I left it in front of their door, but they weren't the ones to let the prank die there, and really, those antics only continued over time. Nothing too harmful, but it'd always be obnoxious, just like how friends are wont to do. There was the mustard in the ice cream at the dining hall incident, which tasted surprisingly fine. Not quite good, but not revolting. There was that time ordering 20 servings of mozzarella sticks. It's now only occurring to me that all of the pranking seemed to revolve around food, but I guess that was the easiest way to not be too offensive. Pranks with friends are so funny. There was a time that mine threw my backpack outside of the dorm's window. And then one happened. I had to get it. Isn't that funny? Haha. Yeah, real funny. He took a moment, scratching at the bridge of his brow. What I'm trying to say is that when the door opened, I was primed for a surprise. I hid out, slamming into my sister's hand. The watch flew from her grasp and landed on the floor, cracked. What a perfect surprise. Not just all my friends and family there, but me turning it around on the gift giver with my amazing reflexes. Was she hurt? Oh no. Marina was made of sturdy stuff. She was fine. She was fine. He stared down at the pocket watch before taking it from my hands and coaxed it into his bag, where it settled down to the depths. When I looked back at the street, the lighters were all gone, taken away no doubt when we were comparing pranks. This little hook thing or this game thing? I'm kind of more interested in the game thing. But I feel like the hook thing might be dad related because it looks like a fishing hook maybe? I reached out for the familiar relic, the mobile gaming device. It felt like it'd been years since I saw one of those. It looks like you've seen a ghost. Am I that obvious? You didn't realize you gasped? My cheeks ablaze with shame. I just didn't think anyone carried game pals around anymore. They're like, what, 4 generations behind? I wouldn't know. I don't really keep track. It's what's on it that matters to me, anyway. The sole good game in the series? He barked out a quick laugh. You're too funny, Toby. I wasn't joking, though. No, it's nothing like that. It's more about the data that's on it, rather than the game itself. It hasn't been easy doing maintenance to keep it running, but I'm not willing for the cartridge to die just yet. When I was younger, these Still Passings had just come out. Who would have thought that one could live a second life within such a small thing? That so many thoughts and needs could persist inside such a tiny space. I would trade off the cartridge with my Sir? My friend. I get 1 week with it, and then she'd get another. This was back when we had endless time to game, of course. Schoolwork passed by in a heartbeat. Time was freely available, and what better way to squander it than devoting our time to doing chores within a virtual environment. I'll tell you what, I got my first mortgage in that game, and at a very affordable rate. If I could have that sort of thing in real life. He cackled at the sentiment, whole body thrown into the idea. Things would be easier if I had a sole entity to pay my bills to. I'll tell you that much. No more separate checks for the gas, water, electricity, and all that bullshit. Just thrown over my leaves to the resident landlord on what was a pay-to-own rental schedule. You know how many of those there are in the city. 0 unless you're already buddies with some sort of noble landlord. Oxymoron, that is. He shook his head. Enough of my venting about capitalism. I could do for hours if given the chance, so please, don't give me a chance. It's always the same because nothing keeps changing and... It's alright. I keep telling my friends the same thing too, because they won't let me finish. He took a long look at me. They don't let you say what you want to say? Sometimes they do. The rest they interrupt because they thought of something better, like the thing that I was gonna say, but in a clever way. You're a strange one, Toby, you know that? Oh yes, they tell me that too. He shook his head and took a quick breath. All of that aside, half of the fun was getting the game back from my friend when her turn was over. I wanted to know what she got up to in my absence. Every time I booted it back up, it'd tell me 2 key things. One was that my character was missed, even for that short time. The other was that my friend had done to the town. Can you imagine that? I was smart enough to know that I was gone and retained the facts of my friend's activities. It was like I was dealing with a real person. He scratched his head, fingers digging into his dark fur. No, not a real person. That's not quite right. They don't have that same depth of emotions. Their asking is stilted, and their phrases loop over and over again. They don't know how to say things in a unique manner. But in a way, isn't that real? Don't you always greet your neighbors with the same catchphrases, devoid of meaning? Don't you always reply with "I'm fine" or "I'm good" when asked how you're doing? It was a sort of truth in their stock phrases. The illusion of their caring coupled with their ability to remember what's been done. That's what makes me hold on to this. I don't play this game actively much anymore. It's lost a lot of its luster over time. The sprites no longer look nearly as authentic as a younger me thought. That and, well, it's not as fun when I'm no longer able to swap with my friend. Now whenever I open the game, it's just to look at their abandoned house. The villagers ask me where they've been after berating me for my absence. It's been 3 months, Bish. Where have you been? The town's overrun with weeds. That doesn't even cover their questions about my friend. There's nothing that I can tell them to explain their absence. The game only knows enough to inquire as to why they haven't been playing. They can't be told where they're gone. It almost feels like it would be easier to say that they've moved away, but that's not even an option. Instead, they just corner me, looking for updates on somebody who can never return, while I just linger in their sparsely furnished house, a testament to her taste at the time. So now whenever I boot up the game, I try to avoid talking to the villagers so that they don't barrage me with questions that I can't answer. I just linger in her house and in the memories when I can stomach it, when I need to. I nod. I can't say that I have the same experience outright, but I think I get it. I know what it's like to visit one's old haunts. You go back into either everything's changed or not a single thing has moved out of place. So 2 wildly diverging options that are mutually exclusive. Either the world marches on, or that place gets left behind. Sometimes when I visit my parents, I walk back out to the park and linger on the swing set. I don't swing anymore. I'm obviously too big, but I just stare off and remember a time when things were simpler, when others rushed to my side. I get you, Toby. You're alright. The name's Bartholomew, but my friends call me Bart. Dawn thought that he was clever for giving me that name, but well, I don't think anyone's used it in years. Either way, you're clearly someone that understands the value of what happened before, giving you stop to help me get my possessions together. Thanks. I nodded and passed him the gaming device, which neatly slid into his bag. When I looked back, the lures were already gone. For all that he extolted the virtues of this game, his hands were even faster on the move. I looked back up to the empty street, sneaking a quick glance at my phone. Oh fuck. Bart followed my glance and winced, having come to the same revelation. I'm sorry. I made you miss your bus, didn't I? No. I should have known better. I should have arrived earlier. I shouldn't have crashed into you. Toby, it's not a big deal. It sounded like your friends would make do until you arrived at the beach. You'll just have to catch the next bus. But that's not for another few hours. I think we'll have to find some way to pass the time. I already talked your ear off. Maybe we can flip that around? Besides, my bus isn't due for at least another hour or two. Not many go to that neck of the woods. He shakes his head. This is my fault, really. I was only trying to check out the stop to get a sense for how people use the bus. I don't really do this sort of thing normally. There's something stressful about traveling on the bus alone. I needed to make sure that I didn't miss it or fail to get on properly. I have a funeral that I can't miss, back in my hometown. He trails off. My dog will understand if I'm a bit late. We've only got each other. It's not like they can start without me. I don't know how to read his expression, but I do know when I'm beat. Well, I'll treat you to dinner. It's my fault that you missed the bus. It's the least that I can do. You mean it? Yeah, you would have made it if I didn't stop to talk about everything. It just felt like I needed to do so, to get it off my chest. You did have a lot to say. And now it's your turn. I swear it. Bear's honor. Is that even a thing? You won't know unless you come to dinner with me. Fine. How am I supposed to say no to that? You've convinced me, Bart. I will graciously accept your offer. He rose back to his feet and offered a hand. I let out the deep breath that I had accumulated and grasped his paw. It was strong, warm, and accepting. Everything that I needed at the moment. With what was likely only a modest effort, he hoisted me back up to my feet and I dusted myself off. Ready to go then? We don't need a rush. We have plenty of time. You know you didn't bring a bag with you. What, were you planning on wearing the same clothes for the week? Oh fuck, I knew I forgot something. Okay. That ended a little abruptly. I'm trying to remember. I did read something about someone writing one of the Novembear stories, but not really finishing it, so to speak. And I wonder if this one was it. I don't know, but whatever. I don't know really what to say about it. It had a lot of talking on the bear's part, but not much else, I guess. It is interesting though, the whole little, like, you get more information by picking different things, like picking the lure, picking the lighter, and picking... What was the other thing that he was supposed to pick out? And I guess in a way for him it kind of helps because you're able to have him talk about what he's probably thinking about, or maybe distract him about it a little bit, which is probably the funeral for his sister. because he mentions his dad and his sister, but he never mentions a mother. So my guess is that the funeral was for the sister, and that's where he was headed. As far as I know, there isn't any like alternate ending or anything like that where you go with him to the funeral, or he just leaves to the funeral, or he mentions anything else. So yeah. I do know that in the menu configuration, you see like the bear and the fox playing, kind of cute. But like really, there isn't that much else. It would be interesting if the story eventually expands and you're able to either decide to go to your little, I guess, beach party, or you go with him to the funeral. That would have been like a very interesting thing. Actually, I think it would have been better if you had gone with him to the funeral. Like if the story had ended there, like you joining him and being like moral support or something like that. Because although he seemed like yeah, I need to go there and my dad is going to be there, we're going to be strong for this. That's usually something you just say when you're trying to hold it together. And I kind of get that sense from him recounting all these things with the items, with the glasses, and his sister being a central figure, like being the teasing one, then him breaking the glasses because of it, and then him mentioning the person that he would trade with for like a week, with like the little, what was it, Be Still whatever, like the Animal Crossing game, where he would trade 1 week with her, with this other person, and then he'd get her back, but then like him saying like, how am I supposed to tell the villagers, or how can I express to the villagers that this person is gone and they're not really gonna come back? And him not wanting to face these random questions from these people asking like, well, where's this person? Where's this person? Why is this person not here? And then like, you know, facing the house that is sparsely furnished. And again, if this is related to the sister, again, it's like all reminders that she was once here, but she's gone. And the pocket watch being, again, the central person being the sister who was going to give him the pocket watch, but he accidentally destroyed it, anticipating a prank. But yeah, I'm assuming if you had done like the fishing one or the lighter one, it would have also been more or less centered around the sister. So yeah, that is very interesting about the story, that like it didn't really tell you these things, but it also sort of hinted to you what was going on with the bear based on the things that he was dropping. But yeah. Anywho, so yeah, what are your comments? Leave it down in the comments section, obviously. And thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Woody Carried yourself and then, you know, do like the other 3 little things that I didn't do, or do any other combination that I didn't do, then you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download the game, if it isn't already just a direct link, because I don't know if the creator has either a Twitter or a Blue Sky, so that's how I usually do it. If they have any form of support, I will be posting that down too. But otherwise, you know, if you want to become a channel member and view these videos before they come up, you can do so by joining in the link down below or in the main YouTube page for myself. And I have a Ko-fi in case you want to support me through there. And I have a Throne in case you want to, you know, buy me something with your expendable income. But yeah, so yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!